Right, good morning ladies and gentlemen, this is the Goatmaster doing a review of the Greek did Atomizer. If you look at some of the pictures on the post I did originally, most of the kit came nicely packed in plastic bags and the delivery time was phenomenal. I did a cheeky email to the guy, said can I have an extra spare set of O-rings, which he did gratefully supplied us, which I am thankful for. I mean, they do on the site as €1, but I mean, I appreciate the fact that he did actually include these in the kit. Also, in the kit you have some 325 and 400 mesh for wicking. There's one wick I've already produced earlier. That's ready rolled and to be oxidised in a minute, which we'll do later, and wick it. So that's ready to roll, because that, and it suggests initially, and it also comes with an Allen key for the negative pin on the top of the atomizer, which is quite good. And if you look at his video, he actually rolls the mesh around the Allen key, because if you check out the hole on the atomizer's head, it's quite a loose fit, so it's quite a nice wide wick that he creates. So wrapping it around this Allen key gives it more or less the same diameter it requires. And what I've done is took it out, and if it's been a slightly too big, I've just given another couple of quick rolls. And excuse my fingers, yes I know my nails are terrible, but that's just life. So I give it a couple more little tight rolls, and as you can see there, it just slots in nice and easy inside the atomizer. What I did do as well is, before I actually built it, was to get the size of the wick, I actually put it together quickly, put it on top of the head like that, so I could actually get the sort of height I was looking for inside the atomizer when it was built. So there I've got a pre-cut, ready to use wick, which I'll oxidise later. Anyway, back to the job at hand. Comes in several sections. I did mention on my previous quick video that the machining on this was absolutely lovely. There's no burrs. It's just clean, both on the thread of the head, inside the cover. It's nice and clean. Very good machining. It's an absolute joy to look at. There's no rough edges. It's well machined. It's been well thought of. It's a nice piece of engineering. What I have done already to save a little bit of time is I've actually put the O-rings on the end of the centre pin that goes inside the well, the juice well, which goes through like that. So as you can see, the O-rings are both on both ends, which they sit inside the little recess there, as you can see. Okay, so building this thing is straightforward. Initially you put on the O-rings on both the top and the bottom that fit on top of the barrel, so they just slip straight on there like that, which is no problem. So they just sit nicely on there. As you can see, that's number one. Number two, just straightforward on, roll it on, and there you have it, straightforward. Okay, so you start with the base and insert the centre pin into the base, screw it nice and tight, because you don't want it rattling around inside and coming loose. Once that's locked up nice and tight, you then put the barrel on, which you can see is a nice polished finish. Slide it onto the bottom of the atomizer, and then place the top rod on, gently easing it in, and then just screw it up, as you see there. Nice and easy. It is reasonably tight because you're dealing with the O-ring as well, and that then is screwing onto the other centre pin. What you can do is then just make it really tight, really tight, and there you have it. That's the first initial part of it. So what we do now is we get the brass positive pin. As you can see there, there's a plastic hole in the nylon. There's a hole in the nylon, sorry. You just slide that through nice and gently. I don't want to push too much and force it. And that pops out the other end there, as you can see. Let's see. So you slide in positive right to the end, so it's flush. So that then becomes your positive terminal for your PV. So what you want to do now is put the first nut on. So what we can do first of all is take these out here, and they're not screwed in tight at the moment. Iron key fits nicely, so there's no problem. Nice bit of smooth threading there, so there's no problem. Everything you say is well machined. It's a pleasure to work with this. So there you are. It gives us a bit of space to take this out fully. Gives us a bit of space to lock up the centre pin. So we take one of the nicely machined brass ends. They really are nice, as you can see. It goes right the way down to the bottom, and that will then lock centre pin and the barrels together. So that goes right to the bottom. And what I did see on his video, once you've got it tight, is if you can press on the bottom and just gently with a pair of pliers just make it a little bit tight. You don't want it knocking around, okay? So just tighten up nice and tight so it's not going to rattle about. And then you have the other two brass pins which will then clamp the positive wire of your coil sandwiched in between these two, like basically lock nuts. So you can actually adjust this up and down. So depending on how you've done your wick, you can then place the coil wire inside the gap there and then just locking it up and then cutting it off. And that then is where your positive pin will be. So having put the pin in before and checked the height of this wick I've done before oxidation, I shall slot that in, and there you can see how it's going to go. The negative part of the coil will go straight flush with the base of the top of the base, and then you just screw in and lock that off, and then swing the positive coil round, slipping it inside the gap there, capturing it and tightening it up. Now, because these are both very flush, when doing it, it would be advisable to clamp bottom of the bottom brass one so you can actually tighten up. It may just be happy just by doing it finger tight. This all depends on how it's going to go. So just a little lock there, and then there you are. It's one unit, and you can adjust this up and down. So if you're fiddling around with a coil and there's some spacing needed or whatever, you can actually move the pin down or both down together to bring the wire down. So that's the build with the wick inside it. It's nice. It's a nice fit, and as I say, because of the threading, it just slides nicely together. I haven't got a beautiful Provari, although when I do get my Chrome LT, I mean, it's a nice chunk of weight, but anyway, it sits on. You know, it's a nice size. Okay, and there is the did. I will try it on an Argento, so you get an idea of. But I think this will be nicer with a plinth, because then it would actually create a better feel and look about the whole kit. Okay, so there we have a built did. Okay, so what I'm going to intend to do now is put the pins back on I'm going to oxidise my wick up, coil it up, put some juice in, and then do another quick video of it actually vaping and my opinion of the taste and everything else that goes with it. So far with the building, it's nice and tight. There should be no leaking. There of course you've got the one for the negative and the other one of course the filling hole. I think there's a possibility that different types of bodies could be used if the threading could actually work, because it's only just housing, it doesn't affect any of the threading with the positive pin or whatever. But it'd be nice to see how much juice you got. It's a case of just constantly filling it up. But that, as I say, is a built, ready to use did. Now on his video, which was quite good, he actually sat it upon the top of his collar while he was messing around doing things, so it actually kept it relatively stable when he was working on it, which I think was quite a good idea, because due to the 510 connection, you've got a bit of instability here, so you'll be sort of knocking about. So sticking it on there actually gives it a bit of base to work on, so you can actually hold it still while you're screwing in the Allen key parts, which is quite a useful feature. So there you go, so I'll just do that now and spin them in. So there you go, so spin it in. I see, as you can tell, because it's nice and tight. That is very, very, very nice. Very nice indeed. Okay. So I'll undo that because I just realised I put the wrong Allen key, or the wrong nut into it. As you can see, there are two lengths to these pins, so make sure you don't get them in the wrong place. Because the short one is for the negative, because obviously the thread is only going so far. So if you look at the two Allen keys, bolts, they are of different sizes. The short one for the negative and the larger one for the filler hole. Well, thanks very much for watching. It did come supplied also with some Canthor wire and I said on the wicking material, so all in all, not bad at all. I'll get back to you on how it goes. Thanks very much, and thanks very much for watching.